What is your American dream?
My American dream is to be great.
My American dream is to be a singer.
My American dream is to own a company.
My American dream is to be able to say whatever I want to say.
My American dream is to become a famous rapper.
My American dream is world peace.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. It's Tuesday tea time. It is Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. You're going to get a lot of tea, I guess, today. At least I'm going to get some tea. Jonathan and Vanessa are going to join me with some tea in the same spots as usual. Every day at this time, I'm here, you're there. Welcome.
Right. That's where we should be.
Welcome, everybody. How you guys doing today?
We're moving. Right? Here we go. Like we said, Tuesdays are like Monday. So I feel like the week we're just getting started.
It's getting started. We talked about this. I don't remember now. What was your worst day? Monday, right?
Hers was Tuesday, I think. Mine was Monday.
What was that? I think I said Monday too. Like my day really starts on Tuesday.
Right. Somebody said Tuesday because it was like in the middle of the week or something like that. Maybe it was Brad.
I don't know if I have a worst day. I think it was Vanessa said Tuesday, but I don't think if I have a worst day. But it's definitely different vibes on different days. That is for sure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know why that is. That there's like that rhythm of life over the week and the vibes. But there's that rhythm, that a Tuesday is a different rhythm than a Friday, than a Thursday, than a Saturday, than a Sunday. Right? Mm-hmm. Like Sundays.
I remember we spoke about that.
Yeah, like Sunday, you're always slow to get out, but then you start speeding up as the day goes on, and then by Sunday afternoon, you're like, yeah, let's go, let's do it, right? But Sunday morning, nobody wants to do nothing Sunday morning. Right?
It's not.
All right, let's say hello to the squad. But it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday tea. We always take some time for tea on Tuesday. But let's start with Denise Johnson Green, squad up. Pepe Samuel. By the way, I just realized who Pepe Samuel is on YouTube. Westman.
Who?
Pepe Samuel and Westman are the same person.
How'd you figure that out?
Because Westman just said he's Poppy Samuel.
Oh,
I'm not that smart. And Murray Matthew Magdalene is watching. Squad up. Vitalis Asugu, squad up. How are you? Norcia Parsons, squad up. Tracy Haynes, how are you? Carol the Tiger. Abadum Jamo, how are you? Denisha Joseph, squad up, my friends. And Jessica Kalimi says she hopes Uncle Brad don't forget me today.
Uh-oh.
I got you, Jessica Kalimi. And Christy Gonzalez, squad up. Kelly Williams, Shio Domain. Brathwaite K saying squad up. That's a new name, Brathwaite's K, or we've seen her before. I'm sure we have. Annette Campbell Miller, squad up. How are you? And on YouTube, Pape Samuel, a.k.a. Westman. What's up? Miloslav Minkoff, Tali, and God's Grace. Denise Johnson. By the way, you know who Denise Johnson is on Facebook?
Who?
Denise Johnson. She's Denise Johnson on both. All right, she's not like
we don't know, Brad. Is there something you know that we don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. But like, where do you go from Westman to Pape Samuel? That's like completely different people.
Listen.
Oh, that's beautiful. You could be whoever you want to be.
I guess so.
There you go.
I guess so. All right, while I get ready for some schmoozing, why don't you guys take it away?
Absolutely. All right, squad, I need you guys to please remember to share this video any and everywhere. All right, anybody's page, send it to groups, send it in inbox. I need you guys to share this because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. We're going to talk headlines and immigration news, including Vice President Kamala Harris's visit to Latin America, where she has met with the presidents of Guatemala and Mexico.
And it's Tuesday, squad, so it's time for some piping hot celebrity tea, including the newest British royal who is an American citizen.
And of course, you can call us to get on our show. I will be answering your immigration questions. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAWLEAK. 1-800-529-5465. After I answer all of your immigration questions, we'll check out what's going on social media. We'll answer your issues and problems on social media. So leave your questions in the comment section. If you're a little shy to call us on our telephone, on our show by telephone. And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Bryan MacCormack, the executive director of the Columbia County Sanctuary Movement in upstate New York, about what to do if you or your loved one is stopped by ICE while in a car, or while in your home, or while at work, or walking down the street. And by the way, Yo and Vanessa, before we get into Schmooze, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is so simple to do. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you follow and like us, because when we do our pop-ups on Friday, you will be notified every time we come live. We're not live on Fridays at 6. We come live when we feel like it, popping up on Friday. And of course, you will get all of our content that we upload every day. So please make sure you subscribe on YouTube and like and follow us on Facebook. And you ready to start schmoozing?
Let's schmooze.
So our Vice President Kamala Harris, she went down to Latin America. She is the point person on immigration in the Biden administration, certainly for the Mexican-United States border and the troubles that the United States has seen there. So she went down to Guatemala and also Mexico to see what she can do to fix the border issues, speaking to some of the leaders from Guatemala and Mexico. Now, after her meeting with Guatemalan President Alejandro Giuliani, Harris offered an optimistic outlook for improved cooperation with Guatemala on addressing the spike in migration to the United States. She also delivered a direct warning to migrants considering making the trek to the United States. She says, quote, "Do not come. Do not come." She emphasized, and that I want to emphasize, that the goal of our work is to help Guatemalans find hope at home. At the same time, I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, do not come. Do not come. Now, Harris promised a new program focused on creating education and economic opportunities for girls. But for all the talk about the new ways to cooperate, reining in corruption and improving living conditions in the region have been challenges. I think the biggest issue that, I think from people, Honduras and El Salvador, this is just my assessment of the situation. And I could be wrong, and there's individual people who are different. But, and I've met people from all parts of the world. I literally have handled over 100,000 immigration cases in my lifetime. Okay, so I've talked to everybody. My assessment is that El Salvador and Nicaragua people are escaping more violence. Guatemala people are escaping the poverty. So Guatemala, if anywhere there is going to be a place where you're going to be able to stop the surge of people coming to the Mexican-United States border, it's going to start in Guatemala, because Guatemalans are coming because they have no money. They're extraordinarily disadvantaged, and as a result, they're coming to the United States for a better life. Many Guatemalans, but not all, and I heard Vanessa go, yes, so maybe she knows a little bit about this as well, like to come to America, make their money. And this is, and by the way, this is people from all parts of the world, not just Guatemala. Come to the United States, make money, and send remittances back home to take care of the rest of their family. Okay? And it is the remittances that go back, and it's also to Jamaica, much of the West Indies, Central America. It's the remittances that keep people alive and a roof over their head in certain countries. And then many Guatemalans, not all, they want to save their money, go home, and live the life in Guatemala. I don't know that necessarily they all want to live in America for the rest of their lives. Guatemalans, from the people I've met at least, and maybe I'm stereotyping, and maybe I haven't met everybody from every part of Guatemala, but from what I have seen, it's more economic disadvantage that they're coming here. So then the question becomes, the United States is going to give money to the Guatemalan government. And they've been doing it for years to try to, boost up the economy of Guatemala. But obviously that money is not getting into the right people's hands. All right. My guess is it's all corruption. It goes into people's pockets. And there's probably a group of very wealthy people in Guatemala who are most likely taking advantage of many of the people who don't have a lot of money. There's probably very little middle class in Guatemala. I've never actually been there, but I can imagine there's very little middle class. You're either extraordinarily rich or poor. So there has to be a way, and Vanessa, you seem to be, cheering me on. Yes, yes, yes. So I know you have something to say on this. But I don't know the answer because I'm not a government specialist. There has to be a way to get the money into the hands of Guatemalans to allow them to start an economy there. All right? Nobody says it's going to be an economy like New York City. Okay?
Right.
But to start an economy there that they say, you know what? It's not worth it to us to risk our lives to trek across Central America, to come to the border of Mexico and live in Tent City for 9 months to try to enter the United States of America and even risk my life. All for that economic opportunity. There has to be a way to get the money into their hands because the United States is spending money on the border. Isn't it much more humane to take that same money, put it in somebody's hands, and then say, I'm not saying give money to, start giving out handouts to Guatemalans, but there's got to be a way that we can foster that economy to get people to stay and live their lives there, because many people want to. Certainly in Guatemala. El Salvador and Nicaragua is a different situation. It's more of a dangerous situation in those countries. What do you think, Vanessa?
When you first broke that down, I only feel so strongly about this because I grew up in a highly Hispanic, Latino dominated area. So I grew up around a lot of Central Americans, South Americans, and it's exactly how you broke it down. Like Guatemala is so deep in poverty, and there are a lot of people that really just come here in search of the American dream to be able to just save their families back home. And I do have friends in the industry that speak really highly of the violence happening in Nicaragua and, actors and celebrities. And it's been something that they're bringing a lot of awareness to because there's so much happening in these countries that we just do not know. We just do not know. And it's up to those certain people that are advocates for these nations to bring this to attention. But yeah, it makes me feel so fulfilled to see the vice president visiting these places.
I actually was going to agree because Brad, you were saying how can they get the money into the right place to start building. And I feel like what Nesquik said, I think it would kind of have to be up to a lot of the public figures and stuff, just like how Akon took all his money and his resources and went back to Africa and is building a whole city, So I think that's the best way because I can't, quote, or I can't say that this is what it is, but a lot of the times, the government is so crooked and corrupt, that if you did give them the money, they probably would use it for their own stuff. So like it would be like public figures like Akon did in Africa. So I think so.
You know
I
what?
think that would be a good way.
I think you're 100% right, and you're right on the money, not necessarily public figures, but you're on the money that there has to be a way to circumvent just giving blank checks to governments that squander money and don't give it to the people who need it. You know, there's got to be lots and lots of people who work on farms, or even have little farms in Guatemala. It's an agricultural country, or a lot of it is, that if they were able to, you know, get their products to market, if they were able to not be taken advantage of by wealthy landowners. I don't know the answer, but I do know that it's circumventing the government and getting the money to people in local areas to bolster their lives so that they don't have to make that trek to the border, so that the United States doesn't have to spend billions of dollars defending a border from people who are coming to try to apply for amnesty or even enter without inspection, and many risking their lives trying to cross the border. I think there's a better way to spend the money. Hopefully, Kamala Harris figures it out. And, you know, you're not meeting with the president of Guatemala and saying, here, Guatemala, the United States is going to give you money. Because that's not helping the people in the end. I don't have the answer. I'm not a specialist in Guatemala. I just know from talking to many individuals who are from that area of the world. Meanwhile, never before heard audio obtained exclusively by CNN shows how former President Donald Trump's long-term advice call to Zelensky, that where he said it was a very fine call, it was a perfect call, and that was the call that got him actually impeached. Now, Giuliani is heard on this call. This was the pre-call before. Oh my God! Look at that guy. He looks like young Frankenstein there. Giuliani is heard saying, all we need from President Zelensky is to say, I'm going to put an honest prosecutor in charge. He's going to investigate and dig up evidence that presently exists, and there's any other evidence about involvement of the 2016 election, and then the Biden thing can run its course. Somebody in Ukraine's got to take this seriously. Basically, he wanted Zelensky to say they're investigating Biden, they're investigating Hunter Biden, and even if the investigation turns nothing, comes up with zero. The fact that they're saying there's an investigation, there's corruption, Trump and Giuliani and the entire Republican Party was going to take that all the way to the election, just like they were taking Hillary's emails that nobody ever read, but apparently was an awful thing, that Hillary's emails were seen by everybody. We have some audio.
Way back in last November, I got information from a reliable investigator, international investigator.
Now, there is an ongoing criminal investigation into Giuliani and his Ukraine dealings, including whether he violated lobbying laws while coordinating with ex-officials who gave him dirt on the Bidens. Giuliani has to register as a foreign lobbyist. It is against the law to go lobby foreign governments unless you're registered with the United States government. He was never registered. He was acting as, quote unquote, President Trump's personal attorney. Wasn't even acting on behalf of the United States government. Now, Giuliani and Volker suggested during the call that a public announcement would clear the way for Zelensky to come visit Trump. He said, that would really clear the air really well for me to talk to the president to see what I can do about making sure that whatever misunderstandings are put aside. Now, Zelensky was a new president of Ukraine. They're at war with Russia. They need the United States to support them. They need the United States military. They need the United States political support. 3 days later, after this telephone call, Trump spoke to Zelensky on the phone. And that's what started unraveling the whole thing until we got to the impeachment. Meanwhile, Giuliani is definitely under investigation. We'll see what happens. He went from America's mayor to Trump's lawyer to perhaps Jailbird in a little while.
Wow.
I'm here for it.
What'd you
How
say?
that story will end.
What'd you say?
Jonathan
Inmate
said
number
he was here.
something.
I
Inmate
said I'm
number
here
something.
for it.
We'll see. We will see. Jill is laughing in my ear, but I can't hear what she's saying because she's saying something very funny. I can't understand what she's saying. Meanwhile, on Sunday, Senator Joe Manchin, you know who he is? The Democrat from West Virginia?
No. Who's
Okay,
this?
so he is a Democrat senator from West Virginia. He is the key power broker in the U.S. Senate. Why? Because he comes from a very Republican state. He is a Democrat. He is a very moderate Democrat. He has many Republican positions, even though he is a Democrat. He is the 50th vote in the Senate. So if the Democrats want to pass bills like immigration reform, for example, and they say we're not going to do it with any Republican, they need all 50 votes, every last Democrat. Well, one of the ways they would do it is by changing the rules in the Senate. Right now, to pass bills in the Senate, you need 60 votes. It's called the filibuster. And they want to get rid of the filibuster and just be majority vote. So if the House has 12 Democrats more than Republicans, and the Senate has 51 votes for Democrats and 50 for Republicans, because remember, Kamala Harris is the tiebreaker, and they don't have a filibuster, the Democrats can pass whatever they want, assuming every Democrat votes for it. And almost all Democrats want to vote for everything. It's this guy here in West Virginia, if you're a Democrat, that's screwing it up for everybody.
Oh, hell no.
Hell yeah! Because this guy says he will not vote to repeal the filibuster. He says, I believe that partisan voting, he will not vote. He's not even going to vote to enhance voter registration laws. So, for example, right now in many states, Republican-controlled states like Georgia and Texas, they have rolled back voter registration laws. They have made it more difficult for people to register. They have made it more difficult for people to vote from home by mail. Most of these laws, and we've talked about it in Georgia, Texas, and many other states that have happened since Trump's election, are directly targeting minorities and people in lower income neighborhoods to put roadblocks in front of them to basically prevent them from voting. Less minorities voting, less working class people voting, less people voting from the inner cities. That's more votes for Republicans. Why? Because you would presume that most of those voters are going to vote Democrat. So if you prevent them from voting, that's more votes for Republicans. So the Democrats realize this. They want to pass voting legislation that would not allow states to do this. Okay, seems pretty reasonable. All right, if we're really in a true democracy, we should allow everyone an equal opportunity to vote. I mean, if you're really in a true democracy, right? I mean, I don't really know how you could say no. Well, Manchin says he does not believe that the partisan voting legislation, he believes that partisan voting legislation, excuse me, I got to quote him right. He says, and I'm quoting him, I believe that partisan voting legislation will destroy the already weakening binds of our democracy, and for that reason I will vote against the For the People Act. Furthermore, I will not vote to weaken or eliminate the filibuster.
He sounds like an undercover Republican.
He is an undercover Republican in the Democratic Party.
Right.
So now the Democrats have a problem. Because if there's not going to be a filibuster, they need 10 Republicans to pass any legislation in the Senate.
Oh, gosh.
That includes immigration. Where are we going to find 10 Republicans to pass immigration bills?
Right.
All right. Now, they have something called reconciliation. Reconciliation is a budgetary trick that as long as the law has some relationship to the budget of the United States, you can pass it on a 51 to 50 vote. So perhaps the infrastructure bill can be passed via reconciliation and avoid the filibuster, which is the 60 vote requirement to pass bills in the Senate. But where is immigration fit into budget rules? I'm not sure you can pass immigration laws by reconciliation. So when I see, certainly not the Citizenship Act that Joe Biden wants. So when I see Senator Manchin come out and say, finally, because we thought maybe there would be no filibuster and we can get 51 senators to pass bills. Majority rules. Nope. In the Senate, it's 60. Got to have more than a majority to pass a bill. Where are we going to get the 60 people from to pass immigration bills? And you only have 12 more congressmen in the House of Representatives who are Democrat than Republican. So it is, as Yo-Yo likes to say, trifling.
That is super trifling.
Super trifling.
Certainly trifling.
Super trifling. Meanwhile, let me ask you this question, Vanessa and Yo-Yo. There were two words that the Republicans used in their campaigns in the 2020 elections that, according to a new survey that was conducted by a series of Democratic advocacy groups, Republicans used two phrases against many of their Democratic opponents, and that's what caused many House seats to flip Republican versus Democrat. What do you think? Because we lived through this election. What were the two phrases that Republicans used against Democrats that labeled the Democrat? This was the most effective two phrases that Republicans used against Democrats that caused, because in most elections, if the president who wins is Democrat, he's going to bring on his coattails all these congressmen and senators. Biden did not bring anyone on his coattails. They actually lost seats in the House of Representatives. Barely eked out a majority in the Senate, only because they won the two Georgia runoffs. What were the two words, if you had to take a guess? What two phrases?
Oh, definitely something COVID related. They're definitely coming for the Democrats.
It is not COVID related.
Uh-oh.
It is not COVID related. If you're a Republican and you want to scare people, what
Taxes?
are the... No, but good guess.
Immigration?
No, but good guess.
That's like the people's main concerns. Is
Nope.
tax,
What
COVID,
Republicans would would say, this, my opponent wants to defund the police.
Oh, yes.
Right.
My opponent is a socialist. Now, those were the two biggest words that caused the swing in the election. Defund the police, socialist. Those were the two most dangerous words that the Democrats are going to face in 2022, which is why I've always said I can't stand the word defund the police.
Right.
There's very few people who say there should be no police.
Right.
You know, and the Democrats screw it up all the time. It shouldn't be defund the police. It should be reform the police. We want police to work for us, not against us. We don't want to be in a war with police. We want police on our side. Reform the police, not defund them. And then as soon as you call somebody a socialist, and then we'd say, what? How did the Democrats lose Miami? It's an immigrant community. Because the immigrants in Miami hail from Cuba, Venezuela, Vietnam, in LA, in California, where they escaped socialist regimes. the last thing anybody wants to do is vote for a socialist. So you say, how the hell did Donald Trump get immigrants to vote for him? Well, you want to know what scared people more than immigration? That Trump on immigration? That scared them more is a socialist government.
I remember that because we talked about that in Florida when it was.
That's right.
So many of. Yeah.
Because if you're an immigrant here and you're an American citizen, you're not concerned about your immigration status anymore. You're a voter. You're an American citizen.
Right.
So what's going to scare you more? Trump saying, kick immigrants out? Well, you're not kicking me out. I'm an American. Or turning the country into a socialist country where you just escaped from. What's going to make you more anxious?
Yeah, what you just escaped from.
Right.
Of course.
So those were the words that the Democrats have to watch out for in 2022. Now, let's go back to Senator Manchin for a second. We just said he's blocking a lot of the Democratic priorities. Perhaps it's a blessing in disguise. Because if Senator Manchin went with all the Democratic priorities, many of them are extraordinarily progressive socialist priorities. Perhaps they would give the Republicans more fuel in the I'm not saying I don't know the answer. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know, perhaps it would give the Republicans more fuel in the 2022 election. Look what these socialists just passed. I don't know. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I don't know the answer. Let's talk coronavirus. Vaccination levels continue to rise in the United States and around the world. Countries that had been off limits to foreigners are now reopening. The European Union is ready to welcome people back who have been vaccinated. And as a matter of fact, Spain began accepting fully vaccinated Americans. Austria is going to start accepting fully vaccinated Americans. Germany, Greece, Croatia, Bulgaria, and Romania also going to start accepting fully vaccinated citizens. The big question is, when is the United States going to start allowing Europeans into America? I don't know the answer to that. All right, but if you want the economy to come back in New York City, better start having some tourists come. Hotels are dead. Broadway's not even around. Restaurants are dead. You know, all the tourists, you know, eventually we got to start letting people back. I don't know when, though. I don't know when. All right. You have anything else to say about COVID? Let's get to some tea.
Is it over yet?
Tea time.
Oh, look, it's Jeremy the Butler came back.
No way.
It's Jeremy the Butler.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, on Thursdays, he's Jay Rhymes. On Tuesday, he's the Butler.
Jay.
He has many different hats, this man. One day, he's a butler. One day, he's a rhyme master. Thank you very much. Look at him throwing his face in.
So excited.
Throwing his face in just for some, and he poured the tea for me, which is
I love it.
he much better than Jilly, who was just like, here's the tea, go make it yourself.
Throws it.
Right, he poured the tea for me. He really did the right thing. And then instead of elegantly walking off, he threw his face right back on the screen and gave a big thumbs up and a smile.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Squad cameo, nice squad crew cameo.
Yes,
right there. Yeah.
And by the way, now that we have our butler back, tea's warp.
Yes, awesome.
I don't know what happened to my music.
Got my mug today, friends. So enjoy your tea, Dolangs.
I don't know what happened to my music, but okay. So, who's a boxing fan? Boxing fan?
About that.
Did you see Logan Paul versus Mayweather?
Definitely did.
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
What I call it, Merriweather? I know it's Mayweather too. It's just like
I thought Mayweather.
right.
Mayweather.
Mayweather. I knew that. He's never
Yes.
lost a fight. By the way, this fight, there was no judges. It was Sunday night, $50 per person to buy the fight on Showtime. And Mayweather was getting 90% of the purse. Logan Paul was getting 10% of the purse. Logan Paul is, for those who don't know, a YouTuber with a big mouth.
Yeah.
And Mayweather is a boxer with some big guns.
Yes.
And
some experience.
And some
And
experience.
has never lost a fight.
And has never lost a fight.
Okay.
And could be one of the greatest boxers of all time. Now, Logan Paul had about 35 or 40 pounds on Mayweather, much bigger guy. It was supposed to go 8 rounds. And the only way somebody loses if they get knocked out. So now the issue becomes, since this is not a sanctioned fight and Mayweather is not fighting for a title, this is strictly entertainment for people to go and buy the pay-per-view. It has nothing to do with an actual sporting event. They're basically sparring each other and just giving entertainment to the fans who are watching. But this is not for a title. This is not for any athletic achievement whatsoever.
Right.
And there is rumors around that there was an agreement between Mayweather and Logan Paul that Mayweather would not knock Logan Paul out. That Logan Paul and Mayweather would go the distance. Now, why this is important is for 2 reasons. One is people want to see a fight and they want to see an honest fight. They don't want to see they don't want to see WrestleMania. And number 2, although they were not allowed to bet on this fight in America, outside of the United States, they allowed gambling on this fight in London. People were betting on whether or not Mayweather would knock Logan Paul out. There was a lot of money involved in betting on this. And apparently, at least there's a rumor that Mayweather and Logan Paul had an agreement ahead of time that Mayweather would take it easy on Logan Paul and wouldn't knock him out. And they would go the distance, the 8 rounds. And what happened was at the end of one of the rounds, Mayweather, we're going to watch that again. We got to watch that a little slower. Mayweather knocked the heck out of Logan Paul. And it looked like he was knocked out, but
and he held him.
He held him up. He held him up so he wouldn't go down because there was an agreement not to knock him out. And then if we played the tape a little more, I am conjecturing there is an agreement. We don't know for a fact. This is what people alleging. So what do you think when you see the tape? What do you guys see?
It definitely looks like he was holding him up. And I definitely would believe that there was an agreement. Look at it. Because there was just so much foolery before it. Like, it was just hyping it up. All their little meet-ups where Logan would, take off his hat and run. It was just like it was a shit show. You know what I mean? So I would believe it. It looked like he's holding him up right there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, some people, Afrifa DBA posted, Mayweather simply knocked the guy out and still kept him afloat. And TDINBAH tweeted, I really felt like I watched the sport of boxing die tonight. It was not a sport. It was an entertainment thing.
A lot of people were very disappointed with it. A lot of people that I know were very disappointed with the fight.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did.
You did not watch it.
I didn't watch it, but it was here in Miami, and there were so many things happening in the city that day. So I was busy doing other things.
Your significant other watch? I'm sure he did.
No, I didn't watch. Look, watching this. Look at this guy. Wow, Mayweather hugging YouTube sturdy. Wow, that's crazy.
I don't know. I think Mayweather knocked the guy out and kept him.
Yeah, he did.
That's what I think.
I almost feel like he couldn't even help himself. Like, you want Mayweather in a ring.
Yeah, I mean the guy.
Knock anybody out.
If you are a boxer and you're 50-0, okay, and you've never lost a fight in your life, even though you're an older man now, and you don't have the pep in your step, you don't have the pep in your arms. I mean, you trained in a gym for your whole life. And you go in a ring, you just don't all of a sudden lose that killer instinct. You want to kill somebody, right? Well, all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
All you know what to do-
all of a sudden, you become a little hamster. No, you don't become a little hamster.
Yeah.
Become a killer. And,
Agreed.
and this
Literally.
guy, and they're in the boxing ring, and he just, knock the guy out. That's what he does. Who cares? If he's not thinking about an agreement ahead of time, you're like, listen,
Right.
you're in a boxing room. I'm knocking you out. Right?
Yeah, that's his turf.
Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, you know who he is, right?
Yep.
Oh, of course.
The richest man in the world, worth $187 billion, doubled his net worth, or almost doubled his net worth during the pandemic. He is scheduled to be the first billionaire in space next month. He is going to fly on July 20th on his own spacecraft that he made with his brother into space. He writes, "Ever since I was 5 years old, I've dreamed of traveling to space. On July 20th, I'm going to take the journey with my brother, the greatest adventure with my best friend. I want to go on this flight because it's the thing I've wanted to do all my life. It's an adventure. It's a big deal for me." He will be the first billionaire in space. He's going to beat Elon Musk into space. He's going to beat Richard Branson into space. All three of these billionaires are building spaceships. Musk has spoken before about traveling to space with his company, but he still doesn't have a time that he's being catapulted up into the beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Branson, who's Virgin Galactic, wants to compete directly with Bezos' Blue Origin in the space tourism sector, has spoken often about his plans to be among the first passengers in space, but he was beaten out by Bezos. Imagine you're worth $187 billion. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like a little Einstein and build a spaceship and blast myself up.
Yeah.
Right?
It's been a dream of mine since I was a young boy,
Yeah.
watching Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, and now that we're here and I mean, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's been a dream of mine since I was a young boy to star in a musical and sing on Broadway. Maybe I'll just make a musical one day for myself, the Brad Show, live musical, and sing
You
and
never
dance.
know what happens.
Right? Why not, right? I'm a billionaire. I can afford to do these things.
Got a whole show taken for a theater.
Yeah, why not? I always wanted to sing and dance on Broadway.
You said that a couple of times, Brad. Is this a true dream of yours?
No, it's not, because I don't know how to sing and I don't know how to dance.
Okay. This is not the first time you said that.
Doesn't mean it's not a dream of mine. I mean, I don't think Bezos knows how to fly the spaceship, and he's dreaming about going to space.
I was about to
But
say,
that's
you
what I'm
definitely have to have a lot of training for that, right?
He looks like the captain from Star Trek there.
Right.
Oh my.
Captain Picard. What's his name? Right?
Oh, I don't remember.
Is it Captain
I know exactly
Picard?
I'm not a Star Trek.
Neither am I. But we all know the bald guy who took over
I know
for
who-
Captain Kirk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? He looks like the guy who took over for Captain Kirk.
Exactly.
Some of my orders made him a billionaire. For sure,
Can you-
Joel.
can you
Read all of our
imagine-
orders.
Can you imagine you have like $1 billion,
A lot.
you don't know what the hell to do with it. You're like, I'll build a spaceship and go to Earth, blast
Why
myself.
not?
Why not?
Yeah. Mercury might still be in retrograde, so maybe he'll land there too. Like, who knows?
Right.
He has options.
And he has this new girlfriend now, Bezos. But I forgot her name. How do you even meet Jeff Bezos to become his girlfriend? How does that even happen?
Bumble.
Bumble?
Definitely through.
How does that even happen?
They're different. They're actually different dating apps where you.
Is there a dating app for billionaire?
And like levels
Yeah,
to
they
it.
have
Yeah.
like millionaire or billionaire apps.
Billionaire app?
where- yeah, like it's like you have to go through a whole. It's almost like you're trying to get a PhD. You have to go through like all these interviews. You have to go into a certain like office and interview to be the person that you'll be dating. Or like
Is
the person
that what he
takes care.
did, or you're just taking a guess? You have no idea.
Oh no, that's why I'm just taking the guess,
Oh.
but I'm saying they have apps like that where you have to go through this extensive interview process in order to be like a sugar baby,
Right.
thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lauren
Hey, maybe
Sanchez.
she's
Lauren,
too, okay?
maybe she's successful. I mean, whatever it is, maybe she's worth $100 million. It's still pennies compared to what Jeff Bezos is worth.
I doubt it.
I don't think she's worth that much. But I'm just saying, how do you, as a woman, meet Jeff Bezos? I mean, every woman, I would think would be like, hey, not a bad catch. I would like to meet
Not
him.
even all the time. It's
What?
who you know. We never know who she knows. Maybe they were just at the, mutual friends.
How do you
That's
meet
the
this
thing
guy?
too.
Just like Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? She got hooked up, blind date with Harry.
Is that how they hooked up?
Yeah, her friend.
Who was the matchmaker for them?
Meghan Markle's
mutual.
friend, knew Harry and was like, hey, I want to put you on a blind date, and she was like, oh, okay.
I'm sure the Queen
And
wants.
it was him.
I'm sure the Queen wants to kill that person now.
Yes,
Right.
probably.
The Queen is like, who the hell set up my grandson with her? Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Meanwhile, speaking of them, a new royal has arrived, and she's an American citizen. Sunday's press release: Duchess Meghan, Prince Harry. By the way, I thought they lost their royal names, but I guess they're keeping them for right now. Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry welcomed their second child at 11:40 a.m. Friday night at the Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. A statement provided by the couple's representative says it was great joy that Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, welcomed their daughter Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor to the world.
Oh, well, they have
Lily
Diana
Windsor.
in there.
Lily Windsor.
They have the Diana in there. I didn't even realize she was pregnant.
I didn't know. I didn't know she was pregnant, but I was told that they don't want to be. They left the royal family. Why is the announcement still have their royal names? Yo-yo.
Y'all didn't watch the Oprah interview?
I did not watch the Oprah interview.
Oh, y'all should watch that.
I only heard the highlights.
Yeah, you should watch that. She was pregnant there. Look, she's pregnant right there.
But why are they
was
still announcing? In other words, this is the representatives. This is their press release. They left the royal family, and then their press release says Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Are they in the family, or they're not in the family?
These are answers we can't give you.
Inquiring minds want to know. Yo and Vanessa,
Right.
inquiring minds want to know this stuff.
My mind's inquiring, so we'll have to.
I don't know the answer to this. Well, child was born in the U.S., so you know what that means.
American citizen.
American citizen. That is correct. And the Sussex children could end up having dual citizenship between British-born Archie and Lily, who was born in America. But there is dual citizenship between the two different countries. So, for example, Archie, who was born in the UK, because Meghan is a United States citizen and lived in the United States at least 5 years before Archie's birth. Archie's a U.S. citizen too if he chooses to get them a U.S. passport.
Awesome.
People doesn't know the answer to this. Only inquiring minds would know the answer to my question.
Well,
Inquiring minds want to know. Why are they still keeping their royal names if they said they're out of the family? All right, last one. It was announced today that award-winning singer, actress, and creative director Teyana Taylor has been recognized with Maxim's magazine's top honor, gracing the cover of the July-August Hot 100 issue. 30-year-old Taylor has been crowned sexiest woman alive. Yo, Vanessa, what do you think? Sexiest woman alive? Good title for her?
It's a great title for her, but it's just, I mean, for Maxim to be around that many years, and this is the first African-American woman to be titled that, is ridiculous. But big ups to her because she is sexy and she is a sex symbol and a mother of two. So,
and by the way, I agree with you, but better late than never.
Absolutely.
right.
Mother of two, though. Do you see her abs? What?
No, she
obviously had a surrogate. All right, that's
No,
obviously.
she had the baby.
I'm making a joke. I know she had the baby. I'm like, it's impossible that you would have abs like that.
No, it's
Like,
actually kind of ridiculous because her snapback was so ridiculous. Like literally, they showed her a couple days after she had her baby, and she had no stomach.
I want you to know something. I've had 0 babies in my life. I don't have a stomach like that. Damn.
Well,
that's a damn.
That is a
damn. That is a damn. All right, so she stars, obviously, in the VH1 reality television show Teyana and Iman, and her husband, basketball player Iman Shumpert, is currently with the Brooklyn Nets. So he's got to be, Iman Shumpert, he's got to be pretty happy hubby there. Taylor captioned in a post to social media, "Somebody pinch me, Maxim Hot 100 to be named sexiest woman alive by literally living in the skin I'm in. Wow. Stepping back in front of the lens has been a journey of self-reflection and self-confidence. Living up to name and title of this shoot wholeheartedly has made me nervous." That's a cool quote. You know, I'm named the sexiest woman alive just by living in my own skin.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Now, big ups to Teyana.
Yeah,
and she's from Harlem, too.
Where's she from?
She's right up the street,
Oh,
Harlem.
really?
Yep.
Didn't know that. Now, most people online shared in Taylor's good news. And by the way, Yo-Yo, here they are. Some couldn't point out the absurdity that Maxim is just now selecting a black woman as the sexiest woman alive. You hit it on the nose. Yo-Yo.
I mean, think about it. You got Beyonce, you got Lauryn Hill, you got, I could just keep on, you got Rihanna. Like, you got some amazingly gorgeous Whitney Houston. Anybody. You have so many people that could have, you know what I mean? And
Right.
I wonder, did they ever pick anyone Hispanic or Asian? Or has it always been white women? I don't follow Maxim's Top 100, so I have no idea.
I don't either.
Sure, they have, like Sofia Vergara on the cover of their things plenty of times, and I feel like Latinas have had a place. I'll have to look it up, but for sure.
Well, actress and writer Reagan Gomez echoed the sentiment that Yo-Yo was saying. SO to at King Magazine and at Smooth Magazine, who didn't need 20-something years to realize black women like Teyana Taylor are forever, will be fine as F. You.
Fine AF.
Right, and Jill just whispered in my ear, there has been a lot of Latinas on the cover of Maxim. So it is.
Yeah, there have. There's been a.
I was just curious. I didn't know the answer to that. Well, that is our tea. I'm going to remove the tea now. I'm done with my tea, Yo-Yo and Vanessa. And we have to get in today's Bradification. I talk about incorporating a business and the basic rules about a corporation's name and address. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your Incorporation Bradification. I'm not here to tell you what you'll want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. For many entrepreneurs, incorporating a business is the best way to protect themselves and their owners and shareholders from personal liability for the business's actions and debts. So is a corporation right for you? Well, there are pros and cons to forming a corporation. The most common pro is that incorporating a business limits your personal liability for business obligations, meaning you protect your assets, such as your home or vehicles. Another pro is that a corporation's ownership is contained in shares that are easy to transfer from one owner to another. And unlike a sole proprietorship or general partnership, you can pass your corporation on to someone else if something happens to you, unless you decide to have the corporation dissolve upon your death. Now, here are the cons to incorporating. It costs money to set up and dissolve a corporation, and corporations have additional record keeping and annual reporting requirements that sole proprietorships and partnerships just don't have. Another important thing to check before deciding to incorporate is how it will affect your taxes. If after you've considered the pros and cons and you decided to incorporate, you'll need to prepare articles of incorporation and file them with the state. Each state has its own rules about how to incorporate, but here's some basic information you're going to need. Number one, you will need your business name. Now, rules about businesses' names vary, but most include these general guidelines. Your business name must be different from the name of any other business entity registered to do business in your state. You can't set up a company and call it McDonald's or Starbucks because it already exists. Most states have an online search tool that allows you to check for similar business names. There are also restrictions on certain words in a business name, such as obscene words. So you can't call yourself the none of your f***ing business incorporated. You also cannot use the word bank in your business name, unless, of course, you're a financial institution. And your business name must end with incorporated, company, corporation, or an abbreviation of one of those words. Number two, you need a business address. It is simply the place where your business receives mail. It is usually acceptable to use a P.O. box as your business address. And of course, you can get more legal advice by following @Bradshaw Live on OnlyFans. All of our Bradifications are on OnlyFans. Luckily for all of our fans on OnlyFans, the Bradifications are with my clothes on, not off. We want people to actually watch it. Also, by the way, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, if you noticed, you cannot be McDonald's, but you can be McDowell's.
Right.
I think on
Just
I think on the show the other day I said it was
It's
McDowell's.
McDowell's.
It's McDowell's.
That's McDowell's.
It is
There you go.
McDowell's. They have
Coming to America.
Right. They both have the same burger. Right. They just one has a sesame seed bun, one doesn't.
That's it.
That's the only difference. But it's good enough. Under corporation law, you can be McDowell's and you can be McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get to immigration questions. You have a question? I've got answers. All right, let's go to Susan in Manhattan. Susan.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. I am trying to find out if my case can be reopened. It was closed about 10 years ago.
What was closed? What was closed?
My case was closed.
What kind of case? What kind of case?
I filed for political asylum.
Uh-huh.
And it went through the normal proceeding, and I was told I didn't really receive a letter, but I know the case was closed.
All right, I'm not sure what you mean by the case was closed. Generally, let me take you through what happens in asylum, and you'll tell me where you reached. Okay. So when you come to the United States, you got to apply for asylum within 1 year of entering the U.S. I assume you put in your claim for asylum, and then you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and exhaustingly wait until they schedule you for an interview. And at that interview, you make your claim for asylum. If you have a credible fear of persecution in your country, you get granted asylum. And if not, you get referred to an immigration judge. So let's stop there. Did you make that credible claim for asylum based on persecution in your country? Did you get to that interview?
I did.
Okay, and then did you pass that interview, or they referred it to a judge?
They referred me to a judge.
Okay, so now you're before a judge. Okay,
Yes.
so you're now in deportation. You're in removal proceedings. What city was this? What city was this in?
It was in Virginia.
In Virginia. What year was this?
It was 1997.
1997. So from 20 plus years ago.
Yes.
What did the judge ultimately rule? Did they order you deported? Did they give you something called prosecutorial discretion where they said, we're not going to complete your case? What happened?
I know I had filed for appeal because when they denied the case, I had appealed for the
Okay,
case.
so what it sounds like, where are you from, Susan?
From Cameroon.
From Cameroon. Okay. What it sounds like to me is that you were ordered deported by an immigration judge. They did not accept your asylum claim. You appealed to the Board of Immigration Appeals, and most likely outcome was that you lost that appeal, and you have been living in the United States with an order of deportation and, quite frankly, a warrant for your arrest for immigration for 25 years. So your question should really be, how do I reopen my deportation case, right?
Yeah, because we're still having, Cameroon still has the political issues going on, and I am married to a U.S. citizen with 3 children.
Okay. How did you come to the United States?
I came in running from persecution, but I came in like an American citizen running from deportation. So I got in trouble with that already.
All right. So what we would need to do is this. You have a lot of issues. Okay. One is you've been ordered deported. 2, there could be a false claim to U.S. citizenship unless you rescinded it immediately, and then there is none. You know, a lot of times people come for asylum. They use fake U.S. citizenship documents just to flee. I'm terrified for my life. If I didn't use this fake document, I'd be dead. So if you come to the airport and then you rescind that claim, I'm really not an American citizen. I was just escaping death, and I want to apply for asylum. That's not really a false claim to U.S. citizenship. So we have to see what happened at the airport. We have to get a visa petition approved for you. That's the easy part. And then we have to reopen your deportation case. Or it's possible that you were admitted as an arriving alien and then applied for asylum. And if that's the case, we can skip the judge completely, file an adjustment directly with immigration and a waiver. So my answer to you is there is a pathway for you to zigzag, and get your green card. What is that pathway? I don't know, because we got to get your records and figure it out. So I can help you, but I got to get the records first to see what happens. So let's hold on, but I'm going to help you, okay? So hold on.
Okay.
Let's go to Lynn in the Bronx. Lynn. Hi, Lynn.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
What is your question?
Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, Mr. Brad.
Yes.
Yeah. My first question is, my mom petitioned my married sister who lives in Doha, Qatar, in December 2014. And we received a letter, Form 1-797C, Notice of Action with the details of my sister's receipt number, priority date, and the USCIS alien number. Now, my question is, after receiving that notice of action, it says in there that the 1-130 petition for alien relatives has been received by our office for the following beneficiaries and is in process.
All right, let me ask you. Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
After receiving that letter, we never received any notice or letter until this day. So what do we need to do, Mr. Brad? Can you please tell me?
All right. So you said it's your married sister in Qatar, in the Middle East, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, is your sister family comes from Qatar, or are they international workers working in Qatar at the moment?
They are international workers.
Okay, so I'm going to take a guess. Philippines?
Yes.
Okay. So right now, from the Philippines, for married children of U.S. citizens, people from the Philippines who filed on June 8th, 2002 are now eligible for their green cards. Your mom filed for your married sister. There's a U.S. citizen mother filing for a married sister, 2014. That means that they have a minimum of 12 more years of waiting. It's a long, long time. Whether immigration approves the visa petition 3 years ago, whether they approve it tomorrow, or whether they approve the visa petition in 5 years from now, your sister's date on the waiting list is going to be the date it was filed in 2014. So from immigration's point of view, they're so backed up with people who are eligible for green cards today that they put your sister's case on the side. And they'll deal with it when and if those priority dates become closer to 2014. Quite a sad situation when a U.S. citizen parent wants to file for their children, even as an adult, and they would have to wait 25, 30 years for a green card, because that's what the wait is. So what I would suggest is, eventually you'll hear, but perhaps there's other options for your sister. Maybe there's job sponsorship opportunities, investment opportunities, because waiting on your mother's case is going to take way, 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 way too long. And you're not going to hear from immigration for at least another 5, 6, 7 years, is my guess. I mean, it could be tomorrow, but it's not going to make a difference whether you hear from them tomorrow or in 5 years. Sister's going to get the green card on the same day. I know you don't like that, but it's the truth. I know. So I hear it from you like, Yeah, so, I mean, is there job sponsorship opportunities? I don't know. Job sponsorships from the Philippines are fast, 2 years. Much better than this. All right, so hold on if you want to, at least explore other options, all right? Let's go to Veronica in Houston. Veronica.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. So I have a question.
Yeah.
I got married in August 2017. I got my 10 years green card August 2019. When can I file for citizenship?
Are you still married?
Yes.
And you said you got your 2-year green card in
10.
Or
10, yes.
2 year in 2017.
10.
Oh, you went straight. You got straight 10 years in 2019.
Yes.
Okay, so you skipped the total 2-year period. You got married in 2017. Now I remember what you told me. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself. You got married in 2017. You got your 10-year green card in August of 2019. You can file for your citizenship June of 2022. Or maybe even late May.
June.
It's 90 days before whatever the date is on your green card. Let's call it June 1st, 2022.
So it's actually 5 years, 3 years after?
Yeah, 90 days before the 3-year anniversary of you getting the 10-year card.
Okay.
And that's not based on your marriage. It's based on when you got the card.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it's June 2022. Maybe the week before, if you count back 90 days.
Okay.
One
more thing.
Yes.
I filed for my son and his 2 children in Jamaica. How long will you think that will take?
Your son,
I assume
your son's over 21?
Yes.
He's single?
Yes.
Okay, because if he gets married, you can't come. So I would say if you did it last year, it's about another 4 to 5 years from now.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry.
much.
I have all bad news today. Everyone has a long waiting list. It's terrible. Let's go to Siri in Oakland. Siri.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Brad. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Like my I-130 is approved. Like how long it will be valid?
For life.
I got married to a US citizen and my I-130 is approved. So how long it will be valid to file my I-4 485?
For life. It doesn't expire.
Oh, okay.
Why are you waiting to file it is my question.
Oh, okay. Actually, my wife, due to the pandemic, she lost her job, so we did not file.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can file now. It's still good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the question. Okay.
All right. That's it?
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck. Let's go to Thomas in Yardley, Pennsylvania. Thomas. Thomas?
I'm here.
Hi,
Hey,
how are
Brad.
you? How you doing?
I'm good. Quick question. So my wife is an F1 student, and we got married. She took my last name. All of her documentation, driver's license, social security, passport has her family surname on it. Should we change all of her documentation before we file?
Nope.
Okay.
It's perfectly fine.
Awesome.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right. 2 quickies in a row. Victor in Detroit.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Well, I did, I filed 2016, and I was given everything, but I was denied.
What did you do in 2016? What'd you file?
I filed for my green card.
Who sponsored you?
My wife,
Okay.
my ex-wife.
Your ex-wife. Why were you denied?
They said it wasn't genuine, so they denied us.
Why did they
And,
deny you? I'm sorry, you're muffled. They denied you. Why?
Denied the green card.
Why? What was their reason?
They give some way that it wasn't genuine.
They didn't think you had a genuine marriage.
Yeah, that was what they said.
Okay, all right. So, but it was. So they were wrong.
Yeah.
They were wrong. What happened with
Yeah.
you and your wife after the interview?
Nothing. We went for appeal. We have to appeal it.
Okay, and then
So,
and that take a long time.
That take a long time. So
Right.
after then, she was married. She had a baby daddy before he was in jail. But later, when the guy was coming back, he now left and said he's not interested in the marriage no more. So for now,
So when the I-130 was on appeal, the
Yes,
baby's father, who was in jail from a prior relationship, came out of jail. Your wife said, "See ya," and went back to
he's
him.
going back.
All
Yeah.
right. Now, okay. So then you got
Now-
divorced.
Yeah, we divorced last
Okay.
year.
Now what happened?
So I'm married now. So
Okay.
I just want to know next step to do.
You file an adjustment, and just did they on the original denial of your wife? Did they say that they believed it was a marriage fraud, or did they just say you didn't prove it was a bona fide marriage? Those are two different things.
Yeah, they said I didn't prove it was really married.
Okay, as long as you didn't prove it was a bona fide marriage, no harm, no foul. They didn't put you in deportation, thank God. File again, and hopefully this wife sticks with you for life.
Thanks. What about the appeal? What am I going to do about
Withdraw it.
that? Withdraw it.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're going to withdraw the appeal and file a new adjustment.
Yeah, is it possible to have a
Consultation with me? Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, but
Hold on.
because I did it.
Let's go to Amos in Columbus, Ohio. Amos.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, King Brad?
What's going on?
Please, I want to ask you, can a green card holder file for a minor child that is in the U.S.?
Yes.
So what's the process?
File an I-130 visa petition.
So how long will it take?
How old is the child?
7.
Okay. And how did the parent get their green card?
Through marriage.
How did the child come to America?
Yeah, through a visitor visa, yeah.
Okay. What's going on in the relationship? Where's the U.S. citizen spouse in this?
The relationship is broken.
Is broken. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long has the biological parent who wants to file for this 7-year-old been a resident?
Like over 4 years.
4 years. Okay. You're gonna file an there would be is the biological parent the mother or the father?
The father.
The father. Okay. Is this you?
Yeah.
Okay. Where is the mother of this child?
The mother is in Cincinnati.
Why is the mother in Cincinnati? Where are you? You're in Columbus.
Yes.
Okay. Who does the child live with?
With me, with the father.
Okay. What's the mother's status?
Green card holder.
So what? All right. But does the mother have a relationship with the child or no relationship?
There's a relationship. Yeah.
Okay, there is a relationship. Okay. So the answer is this. You're going to file an I-130 visa petition for this child. Okay? I'm going to presume that next year you're going to file for your citizenship.
Yes.
And once you're a citizen, we're going to adjust that child's status, and that child will automatically become a U.S. citizen too. You're going to file an I-130 visa petition on the off chance you never become a citizen for whatever reason. And if you don't become a citizen, that child would have to go back home to pick up a green card and come back after the approval of the I-130, and you do the affidavits to support. It's not going to be a problem going home because you can't hold the fact against a child under the age of 18 that the child was here out of status in the United States. Not his or her fault. So you can easily go home to pick up a green card and come back also. But probably what's going to happen is you're going to file an I-130 visa petition. That's what you should do now. You'll file for your citizenship when you're eligible. You'll upgrade the I-130 and adjust the child status.
Okay.
All right. If you need help, hold on.
Okay.
Let's go to Faison in Brooklyn. Faison. Or Faison.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Is it Faison or Faison? Faison.
It's Faison, like Italian, Paisano.
Faisano. Faisano.
Yes,
How are you?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Good. What's going on?
I have a question. I have an I-130 approved. And I'm trying to find out if I can get a waiver approved on top of this.
Why do you need a waiver?
I came as a minor when I was young with my mother in U.S. On the visa, and she overstayed. And she had some issue with some immigration something, so I was a minor till then. And she left the country. I was left behind with the family because my parents are divorced. My father is a U.S. Not a citizen yet, but he's a green card holder. His wife is a U.S. citizen. And I got my 130 approved.
Who sponsored you?
It was my Spar, my first one.
Are you saying you need a waiver because you got ordered deported at some point?
They say I have a. When they checked in the system, they say I have a removal
order. Okay, so you don't need a waiver. You need to reopen your deportation case. You've been ordered deported as a minor. Probably didn't know anything about it, and you need to reopen that. You have an approved I-130 already.
Yeah, I already did also my fingerprints.
Okay,
and everything.
All right, so. The first thing there's two ways to reopen the case.
Okay.
Okay. There's
waiver?
No. There's the two ways you need your case reopened. Okay. You do hardship waivers when you did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. I assume you don't have a criminal record. I assume you just came here. You came here as a minor. Your mom did something dumb, got you involved as a minor. What the hell do you know? You're a kid and you got ordered deported. Nobody ever told you. So there's two ways to go about this, okay?
Okay.
The first way is we get your immigration records, and we prove that nobody ever notified you when and where to show up for a deportation hearing. You didn't know anything about it. You were ordered deported in absentia. It's a violation of your constitutional rights. They never notified you. I don't even know how they can notify a minor, okay? But that's a whole other story. We reopened the case because your rights were violated. It was a kangaroo court. You can't order some kid deported and he doesn't know anything about it. All right?
Yeah.
And you get the case reopened and the judge adjusts your status. That's one way. If on the other hand, it's obvious you knew about it, it didn't happen when you were a kid, you were older when it happened.
No, I was a minor.
I know, I'm just telling you the two options. Then at that point, I have to take out a musical instrument. The musical instrument is a violin. Okay? And we do what's called, I'm serious. I'm not literally serious with a violin, but we're going to play the violins. Okay? What I mean by play the violins, okay, we're going to make a joint application with the trial attorney. And thank God now the trial attorneys are the Biden administration, not Trump. All right? With Trump, this was impossible. With Biden, they want to help people. Okay? So we take out the violins and we play your sad story. with the violins in the background. I mean, there's not really violins in the background. And we tell the trial attorney your sad story about how you came here as a kid from Italy and your mother left you and you got raised by someone else and didn't know anything about this deportation, and you're a great person, a person of good moral character, you're married to this U.S. citizen, and President Biden doesn't want to separate families like Trump. Let's reopen his case. This is a miscarriage of justice. And we play the violins, and we'll get the case reopened that way. One or the other. So I'll help you. Hold on, all right?
All right, no problem.
All right, let's go to John in Newark.
Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I have a question for you.
Yes.
I was applied for U.S. citizen since May 2020. Until now, I don't hear nothing from immigration. Don't letter I receive in the poll. They say I don't have to do fingerprint. They're going to use my old fingerprint.
Right.
But I'm supposed to be citizen already. I don't understand what's going on.
COVID. Trump cutting back staff.
Okay.
You should. This is in New York?
This is in Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey. I would bet you that between now and the Labor Day, August, you will have heard and got your citizenship interview.
You think so?
Where are you from?
Haiti.
Yes, I would think so. If you haven't gotten anything by end of August, then call me, and then we can start talking about threatening mandamus actions and all that stuff.
Okay, Brad. Thank you.
Hang in there.
All right, buddy.
All right, let's go to John in Los Angeles. John.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Brad. Thank you for the opportunity to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I filed a petition for my son. He was 18 years old that time. I was an LPR that time.
Right.
And I become a natural citizen 2 years after. And then he's 20 years old that time. And we received a schedule to the embassy that yes, on schedule March 17, 2020 last year.
Right.
Suddenly they canceled the appointment due to the COVID-19 and the proclamation of 11014 under the IR2.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah. And then suddenly, we'll check the SIAC. They said it's refused because of the proclamation. And then
where's he from?
From Manila, Philippines.
Philippines, okay.
Yes. And we received an email that they said they can able to give his expedite appointment like their siblings. What I did, they're here already in America. They said they can able to give
your children are in the United States.
Yeah, the two siblings.
Okay. So let me understand this correctly. How did they come to the U.S.?
I'm petitioned by a U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen.
No. How you filed for your children? They're waiting on an appointment in the Philippines, and what I understood is that they're right now at this point physically in the United States.
Yes.
Okay. How did they come? On a visa? Did they swim from the Philippines? They jump out of an airplane?
Yeah,
what did they do?
It's a
on a
visa.
visa. Okay.
It's a visa.
So you have children in the U.S. Let me just get this straight so I understand. Okay. You have children in the United States that came here on a visa. You filed an I-130 visa petition for them. While that I-130 visa petition was pending, you became a citizen at around the time of their 20th birthday, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what you should be doing right now is stop talking to the U.S. Embassy. Even though they're over 21, you can file their adjustment immediately because the day you became a citizen, their age was frozen under the Child Status Protection Act. They are still considered under 21, children of U.S. citizen, and that makes them immediately eligible to adjust their status. And that's what you should be doing.
Oh, so this may be the effect of the proclamation 10014.
Forget the proclamation. Just file an adjustment. There was never a proclamation for adjustment. They're here. They're still considered under Child Status Protection Act. Forget proclamation 1279, whatever numbers you're telling me. I don't even remember what numbers all the proclamations were. Forget it. Just file an adjustment, and I can help you. Hold on 1 second, all right? And it's under Child Status Protection Act. Hold on. Proclamation 1791. There's so many proclamations, my head spins from them. So, Milad in Tucson, Arizona. Milad.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I do like your show.
Thank you.
And I do have a very important question. So I'm a green card holder, and I applied for citizenship. It's been about 6 weeks.
Right.
And I recently received a speeding ticket. Are they going to affect my citizenship application?
Were you going 130 miles an hour?
No, I was going 80 and the speed limit was 65.
80 to 65?
Yes.
Oh my! You're a terrible, terrible human being. 80 to 65. That's what they would have. That's what they would. That's what they would have to say. You're a person of bad moral character because you drove 15 miles over the speed limit. They can't say that. You're fine.
So, second, I'm an active duty in the U.S. military. Are they going to help me?
You're in active duty military?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, it's going to help you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So, I shouldn't be worried about, right?
You are perfect. Not fine, perfect.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
All right.
Bye.
I mean, if he's driving 150 miles an hour in 30-mile-an-hour zone to a schoolyard, maybe a different situation. 15 over the limit. I think he's a good guy. All right, let's go to Zach in Houston. Zach.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Mr. Brad, how are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for taking my call. Okay, quick question. So, well, not quick, but I had a first marriage that got my removal of condition got denied. I went to removal procedure. I refiled again on I-75-1 after the divorce. So, and
when you did the I-751, the judge allowed you to file it back with immigration?
Yes.
Okay.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that's still pending. And that's still pending.
And this is pending, yeah. I remarried. I have 2 kids. I filed for I-130, got approved.
Uh-huh.
And so now I have a court coming up in the beginning of next year.
Okay.
So do I give him the I-130?
Yeah, you can withdraw the I-751 because it's already been denied at least one time, if you choose to, and just refile based on the approved I-130 that you have now.
Okay. So,
I mean, refile an adjustment. Excuse me, but you can't file the adjustment now because you have a pending I-751. So you can't. Right. In other words, what you can't do is, as a pending I-751. I mean, technically, you still have a green card. So you can't adjust your status from green card to green card. You have to have the I-750. You have to withdraw the I-751, then go to the immigration judge, recalendar your case for an earlier case if you can. After withdrawing the I-751, tell them you have an approved I-130 and you want to file an adjustment. Or you can even file the adjustment waiting to see the judge.
Okay. Should I go to the other lawyers, whatever and ask for what do you call it again? I'm sorry.
If you want to go forward with your current case, you're going to withdraw the I-751. When you get the withdrawal notice, you're going to file an adjustment. Then you're going to try to recalendar your removal case with the immigration judge and tell him the story. I withdrew the I-751. I filed an adjustment. I want an earlier date so I can adjust my status before you. See what they say.
Can I do the joint motion to?
You don't need any joint motion. You only need joint motions when you've been ordered deported. You just make your motion, and hopefully. Okay.
Okay. So okay. All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. All right. If you need help, hold on.
Okay.
We can even help you in Houston. We can help you in L.A., Minnesota, Florida, Atlanta, wherever you are. I can help you. Even I can help Munir in Lafayette, Indiana. Munir.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you, Mr. Brad. Can I apply for citizenship with an expired green card?
Yes. Is it a 2-year or 10-year?
10.
Yes. If you qualify, yes. The fact that your 10-year green card expired doesn't mean you're not a lawful resident anymore. It just means you don't have proof of it. Immigration knows you're a resident. You're only not a resident anymore when immigration prevents you from entering as a lawful resident or they try to deport you. Till then, even if your green card expired, you're still a resident. So file your citizenship.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Good luck. All right. We had a bunch of easy ones, interesting questions as well. If you didn't get your immigration question asked and answered by me, you could always follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein, you could drop me a DM, a direct message, ask me your private question. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability, or I'll tell you I have to call you, one or the other. It depends on how complicated it is. Also, if you don't like to watch 2 hours of me, or Yo-Yo and Vanessa, but you like 30 seconds of us, follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. If you follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram, you can get the best 30, 45 seconds of content in very, very biteable pieces. Of course, we already talked about OnlyFans with our Bradifications. You could also follow us on TikTok. All of our speed rounds up on TikTok. People love speed rounds on TikTok. Why? Because it's fast. Fast, fast, fast. Done. So follow us on TikTok at Brad Show Live as well. Yo-Yo and Vanessa, what do you got?
You guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And in about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to be taking your immigration questions, issues, and problems that you leave in the comment section, both on YouTube and Facebook. And then later in the show, I'm going to speak with Bryan MacCormack, the executive director of the Columbia County Sanctuary Movement in upstate New York. And this is an important thing to watch, guys, about what you should do, what you need to know if you're stopped by immigration and customs enforcement. A lot of people don't know what to do. This is going to be a great segment.
Yes, and now it's time for another edition of Brad Show Live's What's Your Immigration Story?
My mother came from Greece and my father came from Colombia.
I'm Hispanic, I'm Puerto Rican. My grandparents were the first generation to come over here. Yeah. And then, my mother came here with my mother when she was younger.
My parents were born from the South, and I'm pretty sure they migrated over from Africa.
I'm first generation. My parents came here. My mother came when she was 16. She did build herself up. She built a home in her home country, and now I have somewhere to go every summer, and I call it home.
I can still trace back, my family's lineage all the way back to Ireland and that. And, Irish have a lot of spirit in them.
Nigerians are a diverse people. We have so much culture, and everything about us is beautiful.
I'm from Russia, from Moscow. I won the green card lottery. Oh. Yeah, I'm in the United States, and now my life connects with America.
She's Puerto Rican, and I have a African American father.
I've been here since I was 2. I'm 75, so I've been here a long time. I was born in Puerto Rico, but I came here when I was 2, but we went right to the Bronx, and then from the Bronx, Manhattan.
My mother and father, they migrated from Ecuador back in the early 70s. And then, they had the pleasure of having me here, man. So, then I have my kids here. This is the country of the opportunities, man. You know what I mean? Everybody works hard in any country. But over here, you have that opportunity to make things happen. The American dream for me is, having freedom. My son is in the Coast Guard. He fights for all of our freedoms, man. You come here, you work, follow your dreams, and you can make it happen.
All right, let's check out what everyone's comments, issues, problems are in social media. Check in.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So now, first one comes from Brad Squad VIP member. In order to become a VIP member, just find it on Facebook, go in the search engine, put in Brad Squad, join the page, and you can throw in your question anytime throughout the day. We'll take the first 5 questions. So Teresa Mendoza is saying HR 2920 was introduced to help with spouses of U.S. citizens who are inadmissible. For example, accused of misrepresentation. We need to let people know that this bill introduced is to enforce the rights of the U.S. citizen's spouse. Now, what are the current laws now for inadmissibility for misrepresentation?
The current laws for misrepresentation are that you have to show extreme and unusual hardship to a spouse who's a resident or citizen, or a parent who's a U.S. citizen or resident. I just actually spoke with a family earlier today. They filed for their parents, children, U.S. citizen children over the age of 21 who filed for their parents in another country, and the parents were denied because of misrepresentation. But since the parents don't have, the people getting the green card, their parents don't have an individual spouse or an individual parent, which would be the petitioner's grandparents here in the U.S., there's no waiver for them. They're stuck in their home country forever.
Sandra Rose Studer, another Brad Squad VIP member. Can my grandkids travel on their visa with an approved I-130 that has been transferred to the NVC in my home country?
They can, but they're always running the risk of misrepresentation again, because they already have an intent to get a green card. What's their intent on traveling on a visa? They could be questioned at the airport. It's a little risky, but the answer is yes, but you're running risk.
Nana Jukwa Ki Agovi on another Brad Squad VIP member. Can I apply for my citizenship with an emergency travel document from my country of origin? My passport got stolen, and due to the pandemic, I've not been able to travel to get it done or renewed. I'm a green card holder for almost 8 years now.
They want to travel on a birth certificate?
They want to apply for the citizenship with an emergency travel document for the country of origin.
Yeah, you don't need your green card to apply for naturalization. Government knows that you have a lawful residence as long as you have some sort of photo ID, which could be any photo ID by the U.S. government or photo ID. Maybe you have your old green card, maybe you have a driver's license. But if not, then yeah, go apply for a new passport.
Okay, Fatu Nade, another Brad Squad VIP member. For the prosecutionatory discretion, are they talking about the judge dismisses your case? What happens next?
No, the judge doesn't dismiss your case on prosecutorial discretion. What happens is the case doesn't continue. Meaning the prosecutor says, I don't want to continue the case. And it just sits there. So you're still in deportation. They just never finished it. It's like being on a conveyor belt. If you think about a car being built, okay, and it's on the conveyor belt just stops in the middle. The car's never finished. Just sits there. All right? They just refuse to complete your case. And it just sits there forever until you figure out how to get a green card.
Denisha Joseph, Brad Squad VIP member. If I'm on an F2A visa holder and I've been married for more than 2 years, will I receive a 2-year or 10-year green card?
10-year. There is no 2-year on an F2A. It's only 2 and 10 based on marriage to a citizen.
Reggie Murphy on Facebook. How long does it take to get an interview for an immigrant visa in Jamaica?
You're talking about, I guess, you're already documentarily qualified through the National Visa Center. It depends who sponsored you, but let's assume it's a U.S. citizen sponsored you. I mean, it's supposed to be 8 weeks, but these days it's 6, 8 months, maybe longer. Who knows?
God's Grace on YouTube. I'm in the F1 category. My priority date is July 10th, 2016. When will I hear from NVC?
What's category? F1?
F1 category.
It should be hearing in the next few months.
Proud Mom on YouTube. I have an N400 interview. Would a petty crime from 2008 be a problem of moral character?
Depends what the petty crime was for. 3 more.
Marjorie Mouchette, Facebook. What step can I take to adopt a family member? My child is 13. Or the child is 13.
Depends where the child is. The child's here. The quickest way perhaps may be a SIJ over an adoption. If they're in another country, it depends what country they're in, because some countries are subject to Hague Convention treaties between the United States and that particular country. Other countries are not. And then there's different processes. So it depends on what country you're in. Other times, if you're in non-Hague countries for adoption, it has to be an orphan. Or you got to prove that you lived with the child in the same household with them in that country for 2 years. So there's a lot of complications. So it depends where they're from and where the child is.
Botini Park on YouTube. I applied for VAWA last December and I just got my prima facie, but nothing else. I am still waiting to get an EAD based on pending 485. It's been 6 months. Is this normal?
Unfortunately, in these days, it is normal. You should be getting your work permit very shortly.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, Bryan MacCormack is the executive director of the Columbia County Sanctuary Movement in upstate New York. His organization ensures the immigrant community in that area has their basic survival needs met and fights for longer-term positive change in immigration policy. The organization also accompanies undocumented immigrants to court appearances just to make sure they're not arrested by ICE. Bryan had accompanied 2 immigrants without legal status to deal with minor traffic citations and was captured on video refusing to open his car door to what an ICE officer insisted was a warrant of arrest. Bryan joined me to talk about his experience and what to do if you or someone you know is stopped by ICE, and even if ICE says, get out of your car, you have a warrant for your arrest. Let's see what he did. Bryan MacCormack is the executive director of Columbia County Sanctuary Movement in Hudson, New York. He was captured on video refusing to open his car door on March 5th to what an immigration and customs enforcement officer insisted was a warrant of arrest for an alien. McCormick had accompanied 2 immigrants without legal status to the courthouse to deal with minor traffic citations. They were in their car about 20 seconds when they were pulled over by ICE agents. Before the agent got to the car, Bryan told one of his passengers to start recording video and reminded them of their rights. That video has now been viewed over 20 million times since it was released on March 8th. Bryan is with us today to discuss the incident, his organization, and why it is so important to know your rights when stopped by ICE. Welcome, Bryan. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Brad.
My pleasure. Let's play the video first because it's very important to watch what happened. Let's watch.
Mark, I'm going to put you on speaker. Those are not warrants of arrest,
Yes,
sir.
they are, sir. Warrant of arrest of alien.
Yeah, warrant of arrest of alien not signed by a judge. It's not a judicial warrant. I have no obligation to oblige by that warrant.
This is a lawful warrant.
Signed by a judge?
Of the Immigration and Nationality Act, and an official designated with that authority.
Are you hearing this, Mark? Yeah, I'll tell him I'm on my way. Our attorney's on his way.
Okay. What's that gonna...
That's not a warrant.
That is a warrant.
No, it's not. It's a Department of Homeland Security order.
It's a warrant.
Okay. No, it's not a warrant. It's not a warrant under the Constitution of the United States.
It's a warrant under the Immigration and Nationality Act of the United States.
Okay, that's fine, but it's not under the Constitution. You have no jurisdiction over me as a citizen. I'm the driver of this vehicle.
Okay, are you familiar with Title 8, Section 1324 of U.S. Code?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. In what regard?
I'm studying to be a Department of Justice accredited representative, so I've been through trainings.
Okay.
And I have copies of actually in this box right here, I have a copy of a real warrant and a copy of that, just so people know not to listen to that.
Okay, so you're aware of the statutes governing transporting and harboring illegal aliens in the United States?
I am.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so were you scared?
I was a little nervous, mostly because of the fact that I had 2 community members in my car, and I knew that the future of their lives could be impacted by my actions that day. Myself, I was a little nervous as well, but yeah.
Why did ICE pull you over 20 seconds after you got in the car? Were they following you?
We believe that it's standard practice for ICE to be monitoring and stalking courts, rather, in New York and across the country. So we believe that they were waiting outside of court in their vehicle and then followed us as we left court to go to the individual's attorney's office.
I understand. You talked about in that video, that's not a warrant. I'm not going to let these people out of the car and you can't take them. Tell me, what is the difference between a warrant from a judge and, as far as you're aware, that document that the ICE agent was giving you saying, give me these people and let them out of your car?
Yeah, of course. So the document that the ICE agent had was a Department of Homeland Security document, and it's entitled a warrant for arrest of alien. It's really just a document from the Department of Homeland Security. I believe the officer that was in my window actually signed the document himself. He still has a pen in his hand if you view the video. The difference is that the Constitution calls for a judicial warrant under the 4th Amendment in order to allow search and seizure of private space. So for a judicial warrant, in my understanding, it has to go to the court system. A judge has to review the warrant and sign off on it in order for it to be valid for search and seizure to be conducted.
What you were saying is that whether it's your home or your car, they don't have a right to go open the door and take somebody out. Had this immigration officer, you were walking out of the courthouse and you were out in public space, this immigration officer could have arrested him with or without a warrant.
That's my understanding, yes. I believe that warrants apply to private spaces. So the three main areas that we find this most common are in your car, in your home, and in a business. So for example, ICE could enter a restaurant. They're allowed to go into the public space of that restaurant, but they would need a warrant signed by a judge, aka a judicial warrant, in order to go into the kitchen looking for somebody.
For an employee, exactly.
We actually have multiple videos linked to our website. So it's called We Have Rights. One of those videos is when an ICE officer is at your door, like you just mentioned. And honestly, their tactics are ruthless. In our trainings, people have discussed the amount of times that ICE has lied or used tricks in order to get individuals to open their door. They try to say that they're the actual police. They try to say that they're investigating a crime. They say that they're looking for somebody else, etc. And what we really want people to know is that if they do not slide a judicial warrant under your door, you have no obligation to open that door and allow them to come in.
And that is a judicial warrant signed by a federal judge, not by an immigration judge. What are we watching here? We just watched a video here.
So this is a video called We Have Rights, a video that was produced by the ACLU. But this video, one of the reasons we like it is because the animation is great in it. And you're one click away from changing the language on any of these videos. It really demonstrates what may happen in situations and how our community members can handle it. And I think that's the importance of the video that I'm in that went viral. It's an example of an individual doing it. And I think that carries a lot of weight. We're spreading the example and spreading the information to community members and allies alike.
Were you expecting at some point that an ICE officer was going to pull your car over? Maybe not that particular day. You were ready for that, right?
We do prepare individuals that this could potentially happen when they go to court. We have a rapid response system that we've organized in case of emergencies like this. That's the reason our attorney was on the phone and then on the scene. It's the reason that city council members came to the scene as well to witness what was happening. We knew it was a possibility, as did the individuals in my car, and we were prepared for it.
Now the video stopped when you were on the phone with your organization's attorney who says, I'm going to be right over. And take us through the rest of that time, because we only saw that part of the video.
After that video ends, there was about 5 minutes of waiting time. My attorney arrived, and shortly after, ICE and the Hudson Police Department left the scene. And my understanding is that they left the scene because they didn't have the jurisdiction or the warrant to enter my vehicle and take those community members.
Do you think they were scared away because you were videotaping them and I guess the truth would come out of what they're doing?
I mean, we already got all the most important parts on video. Of course, their statement says that did not want to further disrupt, which is blatantly false. Their whole modus operandi is to disrupt the lives of our community members. They separate families every single day. People have died in their hands. They have no problem disrupting the lives of our community or people in our country.
What do you tell people who don't have the luxury of having Bryan driving them around, or maybe have the luxury of being able to call an attorney?
I encourage community members and allies alike to prepare themselves in similar ways. And I will say that everybody in this country has the same rights under the Constitution. I've seen videos like this of immigrants defending themselves without allies present, without attorneys present, and your rights are still the same. If there's no warrant, do not open the door. And yes, maybe it will be a standoff for a longer period of time, but unless they take the time to hold you there while they go to a federal judge and try to get a warrant, then they're still not going to be able to open your door.
What, if anything, can you suggest to people if they do have an immigration issue and they're approached by ICE? What if you're just walking out of the courthouse? What do you do?
First and foremost, we tell people to make sure that they're traveling with valid documentation if they have it, not to travel with false documentation. not to respond to their name if it's called in public and it's not by somebody that they're with. And again, you have the right to remain silent. The We Have Rights videos actually demonstrates that situation as well. 3 of my community members in the last year have been pulled over. They were all in the same car, and they were not as well informed about their rights, and they did end up getting detained by ICE. So it's certainly an uphill battle to spread this information. We are doing Know Your Rights trainings, etc. I think in general, this administration's enforcement is exponentially more aggressive.
Tell me what would have happened to these 2 individuals that were in your car had you listened to the ICE officer.
In our experience, what happens is community members are detained. They're brought to Albany County Jail, who has a contract with ICE. Stay in Albany County Jail until there are beds open in Batavia, New York, where there's a federal immigration detention center. And if they're unable to pay for bond before they're transferred, they're then transferred to Batavia. They wait in Batavia for about a month before they have a hearing in front of a judge to reissue the bond if they're eligible for one, and then they enter into removal proceedings.
Tell me a little bit more about your organization.
The Columbia County Sanctuary Movement organizes with immigrants and allies to collectively support, empower, and defend our communities. The ways in which we do so are by organizing legal clinics with pro bono attorneys to do consultations. We do Know Your Rights trainings. We do cultural events such as soccer tournaments, for example. We are also the regional organizer for the Green Light New York campaign, which is a campaign to restore equal access to driver's licenses for all New Yorkers. Prior to 9/11, regardless of your immigration status, you could apply for a driver's license. And shortly after that law was changed. So we are campaigning to change laws to make life for immigrants more just in this country as well.
How does somebody reach Columbia County Sanctuary Movement?
You can go to our website, which is sanctuarycolumbiacounty.org. You can find us on Facebook under the same name. And if you have an emergency, you're located in our area, you can call us on our hotline, which is 518-303-3848.
And finally, Bryan, tell me what your American dreams are.
My dream is for our organization to not have to exist.
Yes.
My dreams right now for our organization are to continue to grow, to become sustainable. Our biggest goal right now is to train more of our staff to become Department of Justice accredited representatives, which will provide legal services for immigrant clients in Columbia County. There's not a single immigration attorney in our county.
Do you know your family's immigration history?
We're Scotch-Irish. We also have other European roots, and I think I'm about 3 generations removed from immigration.
So being 3rd generation American, what got you involved and so passionate about what you're doing?
Well, I grew up in Hudson, New York, which is a very diverse area. I'm also a soccer player, so my teammates were from around the world with mixed immigration status my whole life growing up and into college. My partner's family is also directly affected by this issue. So her and I are 2 of the co-founders of the Columbia County Sanctuary Movement.
Thank you very much. It was a great job there on the video, and it sounds like you're doing a great job up there in Columbia County. Bryan MacCormack, Executive Director of Columbia County Sanctuary Movement. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Brad.
I like that interview. It was very informative, and we're now going to inform you with 9 immigration questions in 50 seconds and something we like to call the speed round, where I will attempt to answer your immigration questions as quickly as humanly possible or below my distance. Kingdom come. Excuse me for Clark. You ready?
Yes, sir.
50 seconds, Mr. TriCaster guy. Should I stand up? If I stand up, I'll be out of the screen. I would have to bend down. So I won't stand up. Forget it.
Okay.
I was going to stand up and do something, but I don't know. Didn't make any sense to me after I said it. Let's go.
Can a new perm be expedited?
No.
Can I still get a tourist visa after a drunk driving conviction?
Probably not.
Can I apply for citizenship while I-751 is under review?
Yes.
How long does the I-290B process take?
That's the appeal. A while, at least a year.
How long for an asylum seeker to get an EAD?
1 year.
Can I travel with advanced parole?
Yes.
Can I be deported if all my charges are dropped?
No, not if you have a green card.
Can the spouse of an H-1B visa holder work?
Yes, you can get a work permit.
How long after NVC approval will I get an interview?
Soon. I don't know what interview they're even talking about. NVC approval. There is no NVC approval. It's you're documentarily qualified by the NVC. They transfer the file to the embassy, but because of COVID, who knows how long it's going to be. I can't tell you the exact answer. I don't know your case. But all I know is I got balloons, and I got Yo-Yo and Vanessa dancing. And we're pretty happy because we did it, man. Tuesday tea, we always do it. We always do it on Tuesday tea, but for some reason on Wednesday hump day, we're all front at the mouth and we can't get it done on Wednesdays. But Tuesday tea, we're all relaxed. We're very relaxed with Tuesday tea. On Wednesday hump day, we're all frothing at the corners of our mouth. We can't seem to get it done.
You might get it the whole week.
Maybe.
And Brad is answering the questions with balloons. I like that. Keep that same
you like that, right? I said I'm going to answer it, and then I'll answer it with the balloons.
I'm here for it.
Exactly.
All right, let's get comments of the day.
All right, squad. Our first comment of the day comes from Miloslav Minkov saying, glad to be here. I'm always watching the show. And the only reason why I'm always on time is because I subscribe and I have my notifications.
There you go.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about.
It's simple.
That's
very simple. Very simple.
Okay. Next one. One of our VIPs, just call me Joelle Reed, or better known as Jessica Leamy. Hey squad, what's up? Y'all scared to play squad versus crew? We need to take the lead from the crew. Let's show them we have been retaining when Uncle Brad comes on and gives us his time for free. I feel like squad is ready for a rematch.
Ooh.
She's ready for a rematch. She wants to come back and do a rematch. All right. Welcome, Jessica Leamy. Let's do it. Any squad member, you can come the first time. You can come for rematch. We're waiting for you. We are waiting, right?
Because y'all losing right now.
Crew is waiting.
Crew is winning. All right. Our next comment of the day comes from Helen Onwuka saying, we all need to have a tea time with Brad and crew.
Yeah, very nice. That's right. I like that. Tea Time Tuesday.
We like it.
Okay, our next comment of the day. Ayo Total Rad Nude saying, I like your program, Brad. This program is informative and I always wanted to become a lawyer, so now I get the chance while I stay home.
That's very nice. I saw that comment. I said, oh, that could be a good comment of the day. I saw that one come by.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, let's see if you saw this last comment of the day. Stan K. White saying, hey, you may not know how to sing and dance, Brad, but you know how to twerk.
That is true. And by the way, I don't know how to twerk either. All right, 60 operations later, I can't twerk as good as I used to. All right, and I certainly can't sing and dance. But you want to know what? But you want to know what? If I get my $1 billion, I'm going to make a musical. Brad Show the musical. Brad Show the musical. Okay, it's going to start off with the Hello Squad song, followed by Yo-Yo and Vanessa schmoozing. You'll do a little song and dance schmoozing, right? We'll take it from there. And we'll take it from there.
We'll take it.
All right. We'll see you all tomorrow. It's hump day, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800 L-A-W-L-I-N-K. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-L-A-W-L-I-N-K. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.